Hey everyone, welcome back. It is that time of the week. It is time for Dom's Week 3 NFL game predictions. And just to update you guys on how we're doing through 2 weeks. We are looking really good. Last week we were 12-4 in the games outright against the spread, a little rougher, 8-8. But that brings our season total to 19-13 against outright, and then 15-17 against the spread. So we're going to look to get ourselves over 500 on the spread side of things. But let's start with the Giants going to San Francisco playing the 49ers. The 49ers, 10.5-point favorites this week. Going to have to go the 49ers. I don't think this game is going to be relatively close. I could see the 49ers winning by 3 scores. I know I said this last week about the 49ers winning by 3 touchdowns over the Rams, and it just didn't happen, but they did win. I do see the 49ers taking care of business against the G-Men. And then on the Sunday, we got the Titans and the Browns. Browns 3.5-point favorites. I think the Browns win this game and cover that with ease. The Titans they're still not that great on defense. Their offense, I think, is a good matchup for the Browns defense. The Browns defense, I think, takes care of this game, and the Browns get back into the win column. Falcons-Lions. Lions 3.5-point favorites. They were not able to win last week against the Seahawks when being 5.5-point favorites. I'm going to go the Lions, though, this week at home to cover again. The Falcons still need to show me more before I start believing these Falcons are for real. Now, Saints-Packers. Packers 2-point favorites. I'm going to go Packers to cover. It's a tough task to have the Saints go to Lambeau. It is nice that they're going earlier on in the year, so they're not playing in the freezing cold. That might help the Saints, but not enough to beat the Packers. Broncos-Dolphins. Dolphins 6.5-point favorites, and this is a heavy lock on the Dolphins covering. Denver's defense is not good. They allowed 35 to the Commanders last week, and if you're doing that, it's just not very good. Dolphins' offense is dynamic. They can run the ball and they could beat you deep. They could beat you short passes, dink, dunk, and then deep bomb to Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Just a recipe for the Dolphins to win big. Then I think this might be the game of the week. Chargers-Vikings. Two teams that just like to play close games. They play to the level of their opponents. Chargers did it again last week. They probably should have beaten the Titans, and they just didn't. Why? I don't know. But the Chargers, playing one of the worst defenses, should get that air attack going if they have Austin Ekeler, get the run game going, and obviously Ekeler very good out of the backfield with receptions. But the Chargers come in as 1-point favorites on the road. I'm going to go the Chargers to win this game. One of these teams needs to go to 1-2, is going to go to 1-2. The other's going to 0-3. You start 0-3, and things are going to be tough on you for the rest of the season. So I'm going Chargers to win and cover. And then Patriots-Jets. Patriots 2.5-point favorites. I think it should be more. The Jets offense is brutally bad. Unbelievably bad with Zach Wilson behind the helm. And the Patriots have a great defense. Patriots are going to take care of business in a low-scoring game. I could see it being a 20-10, 20-7 game. But enough for the Patriots to win and cover on the road. Then the Bills go to Washington to play the Commanders. The Bills are 6.5-point favorites, but I am going the upset this week. The Commanders at home, they're going to cover, and they're going to win this game outright. The Commanders just look really good. Brian Robinson, 8 last week against Denver. Just really good all around. Sam Howell's doing better than I expected. Not great, just doing enough to win these games. The Bills have played a little lackluster. Yes, they won 38-10 against the Raiders, but the Raiders aren't a very good team. So, I don't know. The Bills, they didn't play well against the Jets. And Washington, I think, is going to sneak this one out. Then moving on to Texans-Jaguars in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 9.5-point favorites. I'm going to go the Jags winning, but Houston's going to cover. They're not going to lose by more than 9. I think it's a one-possession game. Houston tends to play their division games a little better. That's just how it is in the NFL. Division games are tougher. It's hard to win by multiple scores, and I just don't see it happening this week. Then on to Colts-Ravens. Ravens 7.5-point favorites at home. Ravens are going to win this game, but I do believe Indianapolis is going to cover. Indianapolis, especially if Anthony Richardson is playing, I'm going Anthony Richardson to have a big game. The Ravens still have not put together a clean game. Their offense is a little shaky still. Don't know if OBJ is playing. Zay Flowers has done really well. Lamar Jackson needs to run more. If they could put this together, they're going to cover, but I think Indy keeps it within a touchdown. Panthers, Seahawks. Seahawks are 6-point favorites. You got to hammer the Seahawks covering that. The Seahawks are a much better team than the Panthers. The Panthers' offense is just like the Jets. Brutally awful. Just no time for Bryce Young to throw, and no receivers are getting any space. Adam Thielen's your number one. That's all you got to know. That receiving core is awful. Just going Seahawks all the way here. Bears and Chiefs at Arrowhead. This is not going to be a fun matchup for the Bears. The Bears look even more brutally awful than the Jets and the Panthers. They ran 3 consecutive plays as the same play and got intercepted for a pick six on the third time. Just shows you how creative the offense is for the Bears. So Chiefs are going to win this game all day long. Chiefs win. They're going to cover this 12.5. It is hard to bet the cover there in the NFL especially, but got to go for it. And another one I'm going big. Cowboys 12.5 over the Cardinals. That's an easy cover. The Cardinals are bad. The Giants made them look all right, but the Cowboys defense is not going to let Josh Dobbs run all over them and James Conner run all over them. So Cowboys all day long. They might have their combined score of the season at 110-17 by the end of this one. Then Steelers, Raiders on Sunday Night Football. The Raiders are at home 2.5-point favorites. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game outright, to move to 2-1. The Steelers defense is really good. Jimmy G is not that great. Devontae Adams can only do so much, and Josh Jacobs doesn't look as good, especially with that offensive line being really bad. So give me the Steelers to win this game. And the Steelers, I think their offense is going to do a little better this week than they have the first 2 weeks. Then on to Monday night. First game, Eagles and Buccaneers in Tampa. Eagles are 4.5-point favorites on the road. I think they're going to cover this. The Eagles have not been as good as they were last season. I definitely think they might need some time to get into the swing of things. Good chance here to do it against the Buccaneers with a defense that isn't as good as it has been in the past years. Baker Mayfield, I don't know how he's going to do with that offense against the Eagles' good defense. It's a matter of the Eagles getting out front and not falling asleep like they did against the Vikings. And then final game of the week, Rams-Bengals Super Bowl rematch here from a couple years ago. The Rams winning that, and I think the Rams are going to win this one. They're going to send the Bengals to 0-3, which would be huge in the battle for the AFC North. But the Rams look really good. Puka Nacua out of nowhere. Matt Stafford's just slinging the ball. They're looking good. I'm going to go the Rams to upset here on the road. Might not be much of an upset after the Bengals go 0-3. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed here on the DCAP YouTube channel. Give this video a like, leave a comment, leave your predictions. I want to hear what you have to say. If you're listening on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review rating if you can. Leave us a review. Reply to the comment section here. Anything else, make sure you're checking out the DCAP Fantasy Football Podcast with me, Tom, and Tyler. We're giving our game-by-game reactions each week and our waiver wire pickups each week. So make sure you're going over to the DCAP on YouTube and the DCAP Fantasy Football channel on Spotify to keep up with us and all our NFL content. Thanks again for listening, and enjoy the games this week. We'll see you next week for Week 4 game predictions.